I went and took the exam. I was nervous, and then the results came out. You need a 70% to pass, and I got a 66%. And I don't think you can see it, but maybe you can. It says fail right there. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Hello again, and welcome to the Growth Show. I am Josh Lewis, and I am here with Cunningham.com. Today we are talking about a very important topic: how to overcome failure. But first, Jeff, how you doing today?
Dude, you know what? It's funny that we've been doing this for a little bit. Anybody who hasn't listened to the past one on emotions, I think I'm dealing with failure today on failure to launch and control my emotions, which we'll talk about a little bit later on, maybe in this episode.
So you're saying we need to do an emotions part 2?
No, I did better with emotions because I was actually able to take the stuff that you taught me and apply it in the Tony Robbins stuff. But I noticed a trend that I did that's really just it's not becoming of me. I'm better than that to play petty, you know?
Gotcha. Okay. All right. Do you want to get into that, or do you want to?
No, we'll save that for later. That's something that I think we'll tease out for later, you know?
Okay. All right. Cool. All right.
We got a bunch of live viewers here on Instagram Live here.
Nice. Awesome. So today we are talking about how to overcome failure. And this is something that is a really important topic to talk about. Maybe you've tuned into this video and you just clicked on and you're like, what can I learn from this? So this is one of the things that I think separates successful from the unsuccessful people. And basically it's time on the mat, right? That's what they say. Like, how much time do you spend on the mat when you failed, right? How much time are you down there when, you get knocked down? Do you stay down or you get up right away? So to give a brief history, I'm going to tell a quick story. So over the past couple of months, ever since coronavirus hit, COVID happened, I got an opportunity to start my own business and do something that could help out a massive amount of people. I'm very excited about it. It's kind of what we talked about on last week with the money of the Growth Show. And the way that we do it, of how we help people, is through, financial education. And that stuff is no joke. You got to learn about it. And you want to make sure you're setting people up right. There's a lot of things I did not know about the financial aspects. Great things that I learned that I'm super excited to teach people. In order to teach people, you need to be licensed. So I have been working my day job. I'm a managing partner at a restaurant. And that's been crazy, man. A restaurant. Jeff, have you been to a restaurant lately? You work at a restaurant, right?
Yeah, I like to say I feed families on the weekends, right?
You what? Say that again?
I feed families on the weekends, hungry families on the weekends. I've told people that before. People are like, because, it's kind of funny. Like when I was going out doing delivery, during COVID, I was putting on a mask. I would put a little thumbs up with my mask on and be like, feeding hungry families this weekend. I'm like, oh my God, you're amazing. Well, kind of get a little side cash too. Side hustle, keep me busy. But yeah, true story.
Yeah, so you've been in the restaurant industry, and managing one is fun, especially now with the labor constraints. With everybody, they're looking to crush labor because of profit structures. So I'm very excited about the new business that I'm starting. So I have been working about now. Me explaining a little bit, me working in the restaurant industry is only for one reason only. I want to protect my ego, because what happened today is July 3rd. Well, it's July 4th right now. Happy 4th of July. July 3rd was the 21st anniversary of our mom passing away. And I had my license exam on that same day. And I was super excited to get it because it sounded like it was going to be a cool story and everything like that. And then I went and took the exam. I was nervous. And then the results came out. you need a 70% to pass. And I got a 66%. And I don't think you can see it, but maybe you can. It says fail right there. So that's what we're talking. That's what we're talking about today, because like when it first came up, it like there was this like they want you to take a survey at the end, like how do we do? Was the room comfortable? Was not room comfortable? I'm just clicking through the survey real quick, and then all of a sudden it comes up, and I see 150 questions, 99 correct. And then I'm looking, I'm like, well, where does it say? Did I pass? Did I not pass? And then I see the words fail. And, I find that when we fail in life, what happens is you go through a series of emotions. And for me, what happened was when I saw those words fail, first thing is denial, right? Whenever you fail at something, you deny it. You're like, no, that can't be true, right? It's almost like disbelief, like that can't be true. So that's the first thing I did. I denied it. And the second thing I did was I felt devastated. I felt disappointed. Then the third thing I did was I got frustrated. Then I got upset. And then I got sad. And then I realized what happens throughout any time that we fail in life. And Jeff, you can correct me if I'm wrong. When I fail today, what happens is I'm going to write it down so you can see it. You falling asleep over there?
I just want to say this. I'm actually like very honored. The fact that you're just going live with this right here, very authentic. I know how hard you tested and focused and did for this. So to hear how maturely you are actually just processing it kind of, and then just putting it out there to kind of just almost help people out awesome when they fail, make it as a learning curve. It just, dude, it honestly breaks my heart and makes the story that much better,
Yeah, I mean, listen, it's still my story and it's still frustrating because I want to go out and help people. Like, it's truly my passion to go out and help people, and I finally found a vehicle where I can go out and help people. And it's just frustrating that I can't do it right away. I mean, even if after you get licensed, there's still a process. You got to submit it to the state, and that takes a while too as well. But I got frustrated, because like what happens is whenever we fail at something, and I want to talk this through, but whenever we fail at something, we begin to do something that is, when you see the words fail, or when you fail whatever it is at life, you open a door that you maybe like you kept shut, and that's the door to doubt. You open it up and go, well, maybe I'm not supposed to do this. Maybe I'm not good enough. Maybe, and you start going through all those things. And then I remembered, I think I first heard this from Tony Robbins, is this. So this looks like an infinity symbol, and I've explained this before, and I don't know if you can see it too well, but when we get something bad happens, we get angry and we start to get upset. And when we get upset, our brain focuses on that. But since our brain doesn't like to be bored and likes to change things up, it takes the same topic, and I should have wrote failure up here, but failure, and then it goes into sadness. And what happens is it's this pattern. It's this infinity symbol of over and over and over again. And whenever you get disappointed in life, you go through that. You go through anger, and then your brain gets bored of that after a while, and then you get super sad. And when you're super bored of that, you go back to anger. And I realized this really quickly. And I was like, I know what'll make me feel better. If I can reschedule my test and I can find a date where I can just retake the test. I looked right at the lady, and she pulled this out of the printer. She looked at it. She was so nice too, which makes it worse when people are nice. She went, oh. And I went, when can I get a retest? And she was like, oh, you could do it within the next 24 hours. I was like, thank you. I wasn't like that, like, thank you, but I was just like, thank you. So I feel
Did you cry or no?
No, I was too, I thought about it. I thought about it because this is the reasoning why. Mom died on the 3rd, right? It was the 3rd yesterday. Today's the 4th. And I wanted to do this kind of like, I put it in my head like this would be a cool thing to do for her, and I failed at it. And I felt like I let her down. And that, if I focus on that, even if I focus on it now, it kind of like gets me really upset, gets me really sad. I tend to push down my emotions, which is one of the reasons why I wanted to talk about this tonight, you know?
Which is why I'm so proud of that you're doing this now. Like, that's why I do. After it happened, you texted me, right? And I kind of want to actually play through kind of what I think. But I wanted to talk to you right away because I wanted to find out exactly, like, I wanted to hear you transfer your emotions. I know when Jay died, how I handled it by getting everything out, still do, right? I go crazy if I don't. And I know, kind of where it was. So I just didn't want it to be, I wanted it to be as prosthetic. When you said, oh, I don't feel like talking right now, I got so worried. You know what I mean? And I totally understand that because I've been pissed, I've been told, I wasn't going to play quarterback and all these things,
When I say, like, I didn't want to talk about it, I knew what was going to come out of my mouth. It was opening that door to doubt. And I knew that if I had the conversation with you, I would say shit that I really didn't believe. I guess we can swear on here. I would say stuff that I really wouldn't believe, but it's like what I put in my video, that video that just came out. If you haven't watched it, go watch it.
That's a great video. We should link that one back down here.
We will. I put in the video is self-pity is the same song always sung. It's just a different title. And what that means is self-pity is just the same thing. It's just, we just put a different thing on it, right? It's always the same reaction. It's always why me, poor me, victim. We just say, oh, well, it's because my boss, or it's because my ex-girlfriend, or it's because, I work too hard, or it's because I can't work hard. I find a job. We always put a reason on it, but self-pity is the same thing. It just makes you stagnant, it makes you still. So the only thing that made me want to feel better, so I took immediate massive action. So what I did was I went and I tried to reschedule a test, but they won't let me reschedule a test because I guess it has to be 24 hours. I don't know. I'm going to try and click into it in a little bit. So then I got upset. So I was like, massive action. I'm calling them. So I found a phone number, 800 number, looking at it right now. I call them. And it's like, hello, welcome to so-and-so. We are closed for the 4th of July holiday. I'm like, I'm taking all this action so I could actually feel better about myself, and I can't do anything. And it was very frustrating to me. And then the crazy thing is I went home and I went on a call. I went on our team takeover call, and I was just listening.
You were on that call?
Yeah, I was listening.
I looked for you and I didn't see you on there.
I was on it.
And then I got really discouraged.
No, I was on it because I wanted to get my mind focused into the business. And I was just like, God, I gotta wait longer to do this, The positives about this, and I'll stop talking in a little bit. The positives about this is I'm going to study the material even more, so I'll be a near expert at it. The crazy thing is, if I'm looking at this right now, so basically what it is I took my life insurance exam, my health insurance exam. And I did great on life insurance. If I only took my life insurance exam, I would have passed it.
Right, and that's kind of what I thought, dude. You know what I mean?
I know, it's just stupid because I was still studying life insurance.
Can you just take the life insurance test, or do you have to take both of them together?
I think because I paid for both of it, I think I have to take both of them.
Are you have a picture there?
Yeah, look, check it out. I got my mask underneath there. Like, can you pull your mask down? I'm like... And she's like, I know these pictures aren't great already. Now we got to have masks on the bottom of our chin. They were nice. So everything 77%, 85%, 86%, 71%, 88%, all on life insurance. Health insurance.
Oh my God, dude. Yeah. Because, dude,
health insurance, 22, 36, 50, 66, 36, 46. The worst one I did, 36%, senior citizens and special needs for health insurance. They started asking me questions about Medicare, and I was like,
dude,
I don't know.
Dude, it sounds like you took it more than you. So everybody who was going, were they going for life and health? Everybody who's being like that?
Well, most people bundle life and health, and the reasoning is health is is a small test. I think if you just did health, it's like a $40 or a $34 test, right?
Right.
So they bundle it because you can, if I get them both, I could have the option to sell health insurance if I want. So a lot of people just bundle it right together because it's a smaller test. Life insurance is a bigger test, but they just bundle it, life and health. And there's two categories that I was not confident in. That was the health insurance, especially for seniors, and taxation of all of how all the healthcare works. And those are the two that I did not do well on. And I think the reason why I failed the test. With that said, I will get better at it. I'm going to study at it. When I went and I drove home, I actually put on the test, like them speaking through the test. And I was like, I'm just going to keep hammering this stuff into my head. Now, let me ask you this. I'm going to get this off of me, but do you think it's possible to, I don't want to say overtrain, but like overextend your brain so like you're just filled with so much knowledge, you're not retaining anything? Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, it's funny, dude, because like I don't listen to music, right? Like very little unless I get my heart broken. So I listen to a few songs tonight. I'm not heartbroken, right? I get all emotional, right? And I want to like let out the emotions and hear out the emotion. But yeah, I don't really think so, dude. I think no matter what it is, like you got to switch it on everything. But I really think, yeah, you can, right? But I don't know, man. I've been listening to I'll listen to the same book over and over again, the same thing on success story until it's through me, until I get it. You know what I mean? And it's almost to the point, like it's muscle, like where it's like working out, right? Like, can you work out a muscle too much? Yeah, you can. But if you know how to work it out, like rewind it and kind of do that same rep too, there's a way to do it kind of in a healthy pattern, I believe. Where like you're not burning out. You know what I mean? Like if you ever went to the gym and you kind of just like overwork your muscles, like, oh, that was just bad. Like it's the same way with your brain. At least I've noticed what I've been able to do, and this is the kind of thing. It's just really listen to it where I can actually digest it, process it. Once I know I got it, then move on to the next thing, right?
Right.
But yeah, listen, I haven't really studied for it, dude. I'll admit, I looked at life insurance and I thought, man, this is a lot. I'm not really, I want to stay focused. I'm going to table this till after. Let me focus. Let me get my coaching funnel filled up. Let me do that, right?
It's not hard. There's just a lot to it. It's like having to memorize and learn 150 different things and making sure that you know what they are.
Like, I almost wish you didn't even take the health, because if not, I think you would have totally passed. And right now, all you're selling is life. And then I understand like time is do that, but what do we preach all the time? Focus, right? I'm doing a video out tomorrow on 3 things success. One of them is put blinders on and focus. When you're doing life and health, I understand like it's a little small test, but it's almost kind of breaking your focus a little bit.
Yeah, it is. Well, also, and I know what you're saying. It also, there's different, like I can talk about life insurance a lot because I know a lot about it. Obviously not as much as I thought I did.
No, you sound like you had passing grades for life insurance. Maybe health insurance is one thing that you can't talk about.
Yeah, well, here's the thing. Health insurance and life insurance are very, like, they're almost integrated, but they're not. And what I mean by that is there's different riders. And riders are basically add-ons when you have a life insurance policy. And a lot of them are accidental death and dismemberment, disability. When you get into disability, what is that? That's health. So it kind of like integrates. So you gotta kind of learn about health insurance too anyway. You don't have to, but it makes sense that if you knew, like, oh, well, they're on disability income. Okay, well, that's what this is. You know what I mean? Like what they're going to be able to get, what they're going to not be able to get. Because there's a couple of them that are closely related. So it's good to know these things. Of course, I was just confusing myself with it. All right, but let's stop talking about the problem, because that's one thing that I hate doing, is just droning on and on about the problem. How do we fix it? So if you want to share something about maybe a possible failure that you have, or we could just be open season on me, and then let's talk about how to overcome it, because that's the whole point of this.
All right. Yeah, no, it's the growth show, man. It's growing. Well, dude, listen, I'll say this. So I want to more kind of So the test was in North Haven? Where was that? Like the school?
No. Remember where North Haven Stop and Shop is?
Yeah.
It's not in that shopping center. It's in the shopping center right next to it.
So it's right over there. And was there a lot of people in it too, or were you there by yourself?
No, there's a lot of people there. I got there and like 4 cars. I got there at 7:20. You're supposed to get there a half hour. If 4 cars pulled up and like one girl walked in, I was like, oh, well, I guess I'm going in. So we went in and you put your stuff in a locker. They make you like show your pant leg and everything like that, so you don't have anything like to write on, whatever it is.
Is there a time limit for it or no?
Yeah, 2.5 hours. Here's the thing. I got it done in about, I took my time. I got it done in about 2 hours, and I probably could have got it done in about an hour and a half. But there were some things I was like, just sit here, read this over till it makes sense.
Was it multiple choice, or do you have to type in?
Yeah, it's multiple choice. It's 1 out of 4.
Well, is it on a computer or is it on a piece of paper?
It's on computer. It's on computer, just clicking through it. And
how much did you pay for the test? $60 or whatever?
$83. Yeah.
So it's more the time than anything else, you know?
Oh, the time pisses me off more than anything because, like, going back real quick, this probably didn't help either. So last night at the restaurant, our dishwasher just decides he doesn't want to work anymore, right? And then we're down a cook. So I'm closing the restaurant. I'm in dish all night. And I'm in dish all night. And what did I do? I put on my headphones and I was listening to them talk about life insurance all day, so I could just listen to everything. So I was like trying to study myself, so I was so prepared. But I didn't get out until like, whatever it was, 11:30, 12 o'clock at night, and I didn't really get that much sleep. So trust me, I'm tired right now too as well. But
you had to cook today, dude. Can I tell you? It's probably the saddest thing ever, just because I want to. And correct me if I'm wrong, but me and you, we've known each other our whole life, right? I'm correct about that. Aside from that, it just seems to me that I've and I almost feel like guilty for this, that I've always had it seems like easier. Like, Grant always says, I've had it hard. It's never been easy for me. You ever hear him say that? I always got to work for you. And I don't know if it's mindset. I don't know if it's just because I talk or I put stuff out there. I don't know what it is. But like Stop and Shop is one of them. You work frozen foods. I work CDH. Totally 2 different jobs. CDH is way easier than frozen foods, hands down. Like, you don't have to look at anybody, right? Labor intensive and everything, right? You can argue it's the mind, whatever, dude. It was an easy job. And I just feel like you've worked twice as hard. Like Chili's, dude. You've probably the hardest working in the family over Jay, over Dad, definitely. I mean, hi, Dad. But over Christy. You know what I mean? Like, I believe you are for a lot. And then now, dude, you're cooking tonight. You're on the grill then. You're studying so hard for the test. You actually are in a group where you believe stuff to help people. And, just because, obviously health insurance didn't know it, I think, it makes sense, dude. Like, honestly, I'm horrible at taking tests. I'm horrible. Like, I've always been, I always thought I was, and maybe I'll be better now, because I used to believe the lie to me that I was retarded, kind of. I believed there was something wrong with me, right? And now it's my almost unhealthy ego, but healthy ego. I believe I'm very smart. I believe, and I'm as smart as Elon Musk or Jeff Bezos if I want to be. I don't believe I'm any different, okay? 100%. And the reason why that is because my mind always works all the time. I can solve problems really good. I feel like if I have the right situation, I can do that now. With that said, test taking, I just always took a long time doing it. I remember doing the CPR test or whatever with Jackie and Stacy, and I was like the last one to do it. Everybody's making fun of me, and I failed because like Stacy liked me, she just like passed me anyway. And it was like the worst feeling in the world. You like fail and like whatever, you're good enough. It took too long anyway, And they all made fun of me, and then I had to do it again every day, and I'm always the last person sitting there. So when you say 2.5 hours, like that's a long freaking time. I'm like, I'll take like 2 hours and 35 minutes. You know what I mean? To go through it. And multiple choice, I think I'd be better now because back in the day, you remember I used to be so decisive?
Yeah.
more decisive, and that's all from reading and training and personal growth, right? So I do think it would help, especially if I knew it. If I didn't know it, then it wouldn't help. Like, part of me, dude, when you were going, I was like, maybe just show up and just click through the buttons and hope for the best, you know?
Yeah, honestly, what's funny is I said to Ashley, I said, what's really going to upset me is if Jeff goes and he takes his test, doesn't even study, it clicks like, all the buttons the right way and it passes the test. Which, listen, there's probably people who do that,
Yeah, I know. And dude, like when I took my SATs twice, the first time I took it, there was a cute girl sitting, and all I cared about was getting her number. That was the score I cared about. I could care less about that. I was just taking my SATs to go play football. That was the only reason why I figured I had to do it. And dude, the SATs, I don't know. I could look up the scores. I don't even know if they were good or bad or wherever they were. But like, to me, it was just something I had to do to get the next level to get there. And it's funny, dude. As I look back, like I've done a lot, dude. Just like you know what I mean? Like mom died, we're not anywhere. I'm freaking taking my SATs not once. I knew the score wasn't good enough once, and I got better at the second score. It was like 11 something, right? And it was like a 9 something before, whatever it is on the thing there. Not that it really mattered. I just felt like it would help me like get into a school better, that I wanted to play football for. But I do remember going to SAT thinking, this sucks, man. Like I remember looking at the things and some of the reading or the writing and stuff, and you have to write a whole paragraph. And I remember just thinking like, man, I don't ever want to do this, So like part of me, I think when I started studying for the life insurance test was like, oh, I got to take a test again. Like I just.
Well, yeah, I mean, listen, I get it. That's not the whole, the reasoning is you're insuring people's lives, and also you're setting people up for their financial future when it comes to especially cash value. So you should get tested. Nobody should just do this.
Here's
you know what I mean?
Thing. Let me say this. I think we'd do better off if we build a whole business out of this, teaching people to get certifications in this and get them licensed so they can do that. We'd be better off than anybody right now listening that's going for a 4-year degree and doesn't know what they're really doing and everything. They'd be better off going and doing something like this and having a valuable skill that you help people with, right? Than like people going for, and I think everybody knows that, the whole college system's broken right now with the make of the internet, but yeah. So anyway, my whole point in saying that is like, I failed a lot of times in life, right? And it's funny, like, here, let's do this actually. This is what I wanted to do. Hey Siri, define failure.
I found this on the web.
Oh my hand. Hey Siri, define the word failure.
Lack of success.
So it's just lack of success. It doesn't say that you've always not succeeded. You just have the lack of success that you're going for right now. Like, at the end of the day, dude, failure's inevitable. Maybe before me and you walked, we fell, right?
Yep.
I mean, kind of look at the thing. It's funny because, like, sometimes, like you strike out before you hit a home run, right? Like, I think it always happens. It would be nice if you just, like, passed, knew the hell, did it, boom, we're good. We can just kind of go kind of faster, right? But, dude, even Ed Milet and Lewis House, remember what I said to you when you heard that they failed? I said, I kind of want to fail twice. You remember?
Yeah, I didn't. To me, this is the thing. My time is valuable, so I know,
dude. You work so much, dude.
Want to waste my time. So this is what I do. Whenever I fail, and what I did today is I ask myself immediately, what can I learn from this? And what could I do better next time? And I was stumped at first because I was like, what can I learn from this? So I thought about it, and my mind started searching for the answer. I was like, all right, so what can I learn from me failing? Okay, it means I didn't study hard enough. I was like, but I thought I did.
Dude, you studied hard.
And man. Then I was like,
I wasn't bugging you because you were studying,
Right, exactly. I was like, what could I do better next? Like, all right, notes. This is all for notes. It's all for the test. Not all those books are filled. This is on the desk, but all those 3 pages are at least. And it's so I asked myself, what can I learn from this? And then what can I do better next time? And the one thing, like, what can I learn from this? There wasn't a real good deep answer, but what can I do better next time? Because obviously I want the result to be different. So that's why I'm asking that question. So I'm asking, what can I do better next time? I need to stop when I don't understand something. And most of the time, I think we as human beings tend to just brush through things that we don't understand because we don't want to admit that we don't understand it. And there was a lot of stuff that I didn't understand, and I just kept going. What I need to do, and I think what anybody would need to do, is to stop and go, hold on a second, time out. I didn't understand that. Can you explain it to me? Or let me dive deep on it. Let me Google what that means.
You
And
mean
I didn't do that.
or in the test or when you were studying?
While I was studying in the test, I can't stop and go, let me Google that, because obviously, you don't have your phone on you and everything like that.
Did they really take the phones?
Yeah, you got to lock everything away in a locker, and then they make you show your pockets.
Wow, dude, this is pretty serious. So you don't pass with, so I can't, like, I tried, dude, I was horrible, dude. I tried to cheat during the SATs, man, because I thought it was like a cool story. You know what I mean? No way.
Yeah.
Right?
Don't
Like,
do that with
kids,
this.
they all have, like, you had to sketch out the dots and stuff. And I remember watching, I think it was Growing Pains or something. So I was actually like, one time I did, the one I got a better score on, just did like, I did like a pattern, like.
So listen, the cool thing about this is if you ask me, Josh, when's the last time you failed? I would have a hard time thinking about it. I'd think of something, and if that would be like when I was in Danbury and I got the 15% me, the engagement survey. And then if you ask me when's the last time you failed before that, I'd be like, shit, dude, I don't know.
Yeah, dude, and actually, I think that's good. Actually, and this is why I think it's good. And this is the spin I kind of want to give you on it. Well, here, go ahead. Continue what you're saying, because I stopped you draft.
I don't have any failures. There's not many failures that I have. You were just talking about you were almost throwing that mini pity party for me, and I appreciate it. But you always had the hard job. You always had this. You always had that. Well, flip it on its other side, too. Like I worked at Stop and Shop. I was 16 years old. I also got to eat ice cream back. You're like, I got a CDH. I had an easy job. I'm like, I got to eat ice cream. I got to hang out with Sean.
I lined up all 6 Ashleys, and when I said Ashley, they all turned and looked. It was kind of
right, cool. Exactly. So different reasons. I mean, you used to be extremely girl crazy. So to you, I guess that really worked too as well.
Yeah, that was my ice cream. Which flavor did I like?
I was the hot guy who worked in back to Ashley.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. That's so crazy that your fiance, you're getting married with a girl, you were in back. That's crazy. You guys worked together.
But anyway, so with that said, how to overcome failure. Let's talk about that because
when I stopped you, what did I want to say? I want to finish that, but I kind of stopped you.
What was I saying? I don't know. No pity parties. I was saying I don't want to go through any pity parties of saying because it's really not that bad. That's really what I was saying. It's like I didn't fail all that much. This is what I was
going to say. This is why I think it's perfect that this is actually happening. Life doesn't happen to you, it happens for you, and sometimes you don't know the reason. Like my girl Candace Owens, who I've been studying, she got bullied for being black, had a hate crime, and now she's out there speaking for Black America, saying, "Hey, hate crimes aren't too serious. The issue is welfare, and no dad's in it, right?" So something that was that. It happened for her. She at the time she's like, "Why is this happening to me?" The whole deal, right? Could have played the victim crowd, doesn't, and now it's like one of those things that this is why that happened, but she didn't know. So a lot of this stuff, like obviously we could get pity party and be like, "Man, why did this happen?" Blah blah blah. But I think because Josh, especially you, and just the new transfer, like your last video that if nobody's seen, dude, it's great. The reason why it's great, and I don't know if now is it done edited and you edit stuff very well, and definitely do that. But it's very authentic. It tells your story. It tells a few things that actually I want to touch on here, but it also tells it's just very authentic and it makes you want to hear so some of your YouTube videos, and this is always how you've been. You're a great teacher. I remember when you taught me how to play guitar when you learned it. You're able to teach stuff, boom, 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 boom. Now I actually went to school, became a teacher, and I have to. I definitely had structure and I was good, but I remember always feeling inferior. Like, wow, Josh is a way better teacher than me. He should be teaching. How am I even teaching these kids, right? but I did love it. And I do think I was a different type of teacher, but I was definitely, people call me more of an entertainer. But my whole point is, this makes you more authentic. This makes your story better, dude. You know what I mean? Like, because you come off so polished and clean. Like now, when you become an SMD or when you have your own like financial institution, like we're all planning out, and I still want to kind of get it. I don't want this to slow down anything. Like the big announcement tomorrow, and this will probably post later because I'm not posting it now. But the big announcement I'm posting that I'm doing, everybody's like, oh, I'm fansplan.com first. By the way, I should say this is brought to you by Fansplan. Jackie Lee is having me like promote. Are you on Fansplan yet?
Who, me? No, and I mean, you could tell me about it. I clicked on it and I was like, I have no idea what this is about.
Yeah, so I'll kind of walk you through to anybody. It's basically a Facebook where you can make money on. So for entrepreneurs, you can actually offer like little tidbits. There's a whole bunch of ecosystem of real people. Nobody's fake on there. They verify very well. Kid I know has been working on it for a while. I know it is to have a software and try and launch it and never work out. So do unto others as you do unto you. Plus, he's paying me a little bit. I actually have $400 in my Fansplan account from him, so that ain't bad either. So I guess I will promote it. But it's basically a Facebook that he's trying to take off, and you just need a lot of people to use it. So check it out, fansplan.com. It's great. But I just think, Josh, this is great for you because, like, it'll make for the next person, it makes you more human. Like the fact that like you remind me so much like of like an Ed Milet, who's very instructional, inspiring, very like, you know, boom, 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 you know, Josh Lewis growth, right? No idea how powerful, like you're very like, this is kind of almost human. Like sometimes, dude, and I mean this, because you're so odd, you almost don't even seem human a lot. You know what I mean? Like me, I'm so, God, me, that I seem so human, that people can just, like, the one thing I hate about it, Josh, is when people see me that I'm coaching people for $2,000, like now everybody, Matthew Cannon, Mike C-Rock, all these guys are like, well, we can coach. Where's my mastermind? I'm doing $2,000. Like everybody's selling now because like Jeff's doing it. Like who the hell is he? You know what I mean? And I've gotten that all the time. And I used to have my ego hit like, oh, I'm not. No, 100%. If I can do it, you can do it. You know, I almost like that I have that. You kind of have that thing when you do something. It would be like, well, Josh is so smart. You know, he's very well articulated. He speaks very well. I need to get A, B, and C and get a very good video editor before I get to that level. Like you kind of give off that stigma, you know? I don't know if you mean to.
Well, yeah, so maybe I don't mean to, and obviously people, if I ever did, I apologize for that. And obviously I'm not that smart. I just failed the test. Like, I mean.
Here's the thing. Let me ask you this, though. Does failure mean, like, you're not smart? Because everybody fails. Like, failure is part of the journey and anywhere you go, right?
I'm going to say something. Most people are not as smart as they give themselves credit for, and they're not as dumb as they think they are. And I know that sounds contradictory, and what I mean by that is our egos tend to inflate us up to the point where we think we're giants, right? We have that capability inside of us. Every single one of us. The cool thing about human beings is we are prone to disaster, no matter what, right? You could stub your toe. If you're the smartest person in the world, you could stub your toe and you could lose a toenail if you do it hard enough. You could lose your keys. You could trip and fall. Human beings always have a way to reset them to zero, no matter what. And zero is not a bad place to be. I think it's necessary for us to hit zero frequently through our lives so we can get reset, so our ego can be checked, so we can also be like, oh, wait a minute. I thought I was great, but I could learn too as well. So I think if I did come across that way, that wasn't I realized that a couple months ago, and I realized I came across like some kind of like growth know-it-all. And trust me, I do not know it all. I know very little, but what I do know well.
Well, I wouldn't say you know very little. I think you know. Here's the thing. I think you know a lot, and I think you know it well, right? I think like Yeah, I think you know a lot more than that. You've read and said, dude, I think you know more than me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think you're pretty more. I think more. So
I don't.
I wouldn't say that. You know, like,
Right. Well, I don't think it's like, oh, I know more than this person, I know more than that person. The way I look at it is you can learn something from anyone. So every single human being has different experiences that they've learned different things through. So for instance, one of the reasons why I'm good at dishwashing is because a guy who was a felon taught me how to be a dishwasher, right? Now, I remember when I first started washing dishes, because we had no dishwasher, I was alone. I was in the Shetland Chili's and I was washing dishes and nobody was helping me out. And it sucked. This guy came over. He's like, Josh, you need help? And I was kind of like, no. But I didn't say that. But that was my vibe because I didn't want help, right? I was supposed to be a manager and I just sucked at it. And he's, yo, let me show you how this, because I was getting water all over myself. He's, you flip the pans around, the water goes into the machine. It doesn't come out at you. And I was like, oh, wow, cool. Thanks, man. And I thought to myself, hold on a second. I almost thought to myself, I didn't need to learn anything from this guy because I was a manager and he was a cook and dishwasher. But he taught me something that whenever I do dish, I think about it and I'm like, wow, that guy who I could have degraded and said, well, I don't need to learn anything from him because I'm smart. I learned something from him. So the point of me telling that story is human beings are vast. We travel through life in different types of experiences. And those experiences teach us things. Even if we're not paying attention to them, they teach us things. And it's so important to tap into other people's experiences because you haven't experienced those things. We're traveling through life differently. So people understand things that you may not understand. And you can see that side to them. And it's almost like a shortcut through their travel path.
100%, dude. Like, here's the thing. Everybody can teach you something. And, like, I listen to all my books on success and everything. Like, tonight at the restaurant, right? I'll learn from people who are in a different ecosystem. They travel somewhere different. They learn something different. So if I ask them a question, they have a different take on where they've been. So even though I've never been to New Britain or wherever, right? They'll have information about New Britain that I don't know, that I couldn't read, but I can access through them. Does that make sense? And
That
like,
makes
dude,
sense.
that's another reason. Like, I know everybody's gonna get on me. Oh, Jeff, whatever, you talk a lot, right? I wouldn't be here where I am if I didn't listen. I probably listen like 90% of the day and talk about 10% now. And when I talk, man, it's, you know, it's out there. I'm talking a thing, but I listen to books on tape all the time. I observe people there. I listen to my tables, like if I'm at the restaurant, right? And I do want to get in actually like what we do. And I think, dude, I think you did it, man. When you fail, you got to get right back out there again. Like when I was told, hey, you're on, and dude, it's funny. You like, I can't think of the times I failed, right? Dude, I can think of so many for me. Like lifeguard, didn't pass the laps to swim right away. I had to go back and re-swim. Quarterback, the guy showed me you're the fourth string. You're not a quarterback. You can't do it. And then you came and helped me practice and throw. He told me no, and I was like, all right, I'm still gonna try. You know what I mean? Like, and dude, I don't know what it like. It's entrepreneur gene in me. I finally found like my life calling. That's why I remember there's certain people I'll be like, I'm Jeff the entrepreneur. I'm an entrepreneur, and people are like, yes, you said that. But I'm like so excited that it's like I found my life purpose. Like this makes sense. Like, dude, it's probably been the most fulfilling thing ever. Even like when I'm stressful in my taxes and all this stuff, and you know, debt and ratio and software and all that stuff. I kind of remember like, no, but this is kind of my purpose. Like even like everything that I want to do with big announcement tomorrow, that like really like kind of build out this thing that I have like ideas for is just like kind of what I've always like loved doing, man. You know, like when I was at the school teaching and stuff, you know?
You know, I think what happens is obviously there's that saying time heals all wounds, but I think the quicker we overcome our failures, the lesser it stings, you know? So
well, dude, let me ask you this: the Chili's and the me survey, right? Getting the really low survey, that was a really tough time. You put your thing, tore your bicep, worked harder, like really hard, did everything right, get a really you know, unfavorable survey. Doesn't it make, and no matter what though, it makes the story more like you just went in there and got like 100% me survey and just kind of just kept coasting. then you have the fear of, and this is why I think almost failure is good. You have the fear of your ego. Like, no, not to bring Trump up too much, but like Trump always like has FU money because he's always kind of won in a way. I'm sure he's lost too in bankruptcy, and Trump University was a nightmare. But I'm sure like my whole point in saying that is it's almost good kind of like because it kind of keeps you down a notch until you think you're like invincible, right?
Right. Yeah, I get that. It definitely does. In retrospect, I mean, I don't think I needed to tear my bicep to go down a notch, and I don't think I needed for people to tell me, I was the worst human being ever in order for me to go down a notch. But what did I learn from those scenarios? I learned you can't grow weak people. And I know that sounds really mean, but when somebody's weak, they need professionals. They need somebody to go help them.
So, dude, what exactly are professionals, though? Because I'm doing a video about this tomorrow.
They need somebody who's trained in cognitive therapy and behavioral therapy, who can prescribe medication, who can talk to them. Because the reason why I say that is this. 2 reasons. Certain people, they are victims of their own circumstances and they do not want help.
Yeah.
You know the people, I know the people. This is going to sound harsh, but I do not like having those people in my life. They make their own circumstances that they are victims to, and they don't want things to get better because they are addicted to the drama of things being bad. Right. That I don't like. I don't want those people around. Those type of people don't want to go to somebody to get better. Then there's the flip side. There's people who do want to get better, but they don't know how to get better, or they're afraid that they can't get better. And there's a couple ways you can get out of it. And I think you can take the long way like I did. But I think just like somebody comes to you and says, Jeff, can you coach me so I can get to a certain point? You need to be able to do that with somebody who's good at figuring this out. And the reason why I'm saying there's professionals is because, listen, I can help people. I can help them a lot. I can help them get them to a different growth mindset. Absolutely 100%. There are certain things that I am not licensed to do. And it would be foolish for me to say, yeah, I can help you do that, because I can't. I'm not licensed to do it yet. You know what I mean? Not that, but like I'm not licensed to actually give somebody medicine or take them through cognitive behavioral therapy, take them through situational therapy, take them through all those type of different therapies. I can talk about it. I can say, this is what worked for me. This is how I did it. But am I willing to go the 15 rounds with that person? No, because I don't know how to do it. That's the only reason why.
So let me explain this, and this is good. So because I do coaching, I've met people on both sides, right? And now I qualify people who are only that side, right? And the people who aren't, and this will sound me, I call them carcasses, right? You're just living in life. You're playing. You're a carcass. You're not really living. You're just existing. Okay, that's just how I see. I see people who are striving to live. Those are people I coach, and the carcasses. And with the carcasses, and what I mean by that, and I just mean so brutal to kind of almost wake them up. So people are like, oh my God, am I a carcass? Like, I really just want to wake somebody up. I think like the truth hurts sometimes. Because like I've had success with some of those people sometimes. Whether it was when I was teaching, when I used to teach and show all the videos about Dana White succeeding and whoever else, Grant Cardone, all that stuff in the school. I had this one girl, was in Kiara. She was one of my teachers, and she used to fight me all the time, every single time. She was very victim thinking, very carcass, right? And then as she kept coming to class and I did it, you could tell she would challenge herself. And then she came in and started asking herself better questions. And I just saw the change of it happening. And like, listen, dude, I understand like certain people go to training for, neuralistic, legitimate NLP, like Tony Robbins did and stuff. And I totally respect all those things. And because I do think it does help. And I do think medication, there's definitely a need for it. And I can't medicate that. But what I do think is, whether it's cognitive behavioral therapy or something like that, I do think like whatever you put in here is so important. And if anybody in life, this is what I believe in my coaching sessions, I did it with Frank today too. If you can find out your pain, right? Their pain, everybody has pain in life. Life is pain. That's what Jordan Peterson says or whatever, right? Find out their pain, no matter, even if they're a carcass, it'll wake them up. Either they'll run from it and they won't, or it'll be the breaking point where they'll go through. And for growth-minded people, they're able to understand it and realize, okay, I can become more kind of very similar, right? The other people suffer. I will admit, dude, and not to say like, that, but I've had breakthroughs with people like that. And there's some homeless guys I can't help. I've tried. And Joe Rogan,
that's more what I'm talking about. I'm talking about there's certain people, dude, that have issues that you can get to their pain points, you can get whatever it is, but they need somebody different. Most of those times, those people don't want somebody different. You know what I mean?
well,
Most people.
That's the thing, dude. They need to want something. Like that's
right.
The person who's like, Joan Cahill has more license than me. She was my therapist who said, "Oh, you can't do this here," and she could prescribe me shit, right? Oh, stop! I don't know why we're sharing so much. Sorry, Dad. But like she could prescribe me stuff, right? I think with all her things, and I know for a fact, this time I would be better off any one of her clients to have them in my fold to get them the next level where they're, no matter where they're at. And that's maybe that's a little ego thing to say, and I probably maybe should tone it down a little bit. But like I just know kind of what I got received there. I know she had a lot of jumbo, and she knew how.
Let me put it to you this way: you had a bad experience with her. Would you agree?
No, yeah. You know what it was? It was just I had another person tell me I couldn't do something unless I did this thing. And she was trying to look out for me. She was very shocked that I slept with Jackie, and she thought like she couldn't get over that. She's just like, she was your supervisor and you slept with her? I'm like, this is old news. Like, why are you so upset? Like.
So your experience wasn't exactly what you were looking for. That's what you would say, right?
Not really. I mean, dude, actually, it wasn't that bad because at the time I was so crazy with my thoughts. They told me I needed therapy, and I thought all I knew about therapy is you got to talk and someone listened to you, right? And I said, well, I can talk.
Okay. All I'm saying is, this is what I'm saying, and I don't know how we got off on this tangent. You had an experience with somebody. It was not favorable to you.
Right.
Whether you say it or not. You just said it 2 seconds ago, and now you don't want to say it. But I'm just saying
it was not. It could have been better.
Right. It absolutely could have been better.
It would have been better.
So it colored your experience, right? It made you look, now you have a belief that, hey, hold on a second. These people can't help. And now you are actually doing something great about it. You're actually extending a hand to help. Now, let me put it to you this way. If I went and played basketball, pick up basketball, and somebody was a jerk to me, does that mean every single time I play basketball, people are going to be jerks to me? No, but if I had an experience where I think one person when I play pickup basketball is going to be a jerk to me, I'm not going to want to play basketball.
No, dude, I'm not saying all therapists either. Like that was the one that I draw to. I went to another therapist when I went to anger management with the whole Ashley situation. And that guy was great, actually. He was more like me kind of in a way, So like, trust me, dude, I think everybody should have a therapist. I think everybody should have somebody to talk to. You know what I mean? I really do believe that.
I personally, one of the things that, so my whole goal is to get people addicted to growth. I also want to get people, I want mental health to be something that is like we openly talk about, because this can do so much and people are not aware of what it can do. And they use it all the time for the wrong reasons. Yeah. And I want these licensed professionals to be able to do exactly what you said and say, listen, what you got up there is so amazing, and you're taking it and you're just destroying things around you. What if you could take that and build things around you? And I think that would be the whole point of that. But let's go back to how to overcome failure. So for me, let's do 3 takeaways, because we almost been doing this for an hour, and these shows are usually an hour. And
I want to share the story. I mean, we share it off here, but I'll share it on here because I said I would after.
No, absolutely. So do you want to share the story first? Yeah,
no,
I might as well share the story first.
And then we'll do it. You want? Well, maybe we could do 3 takeovers. Maybe I can draw the 3 takeovers to the story. But
all right, so I'm going to share my 3 takeover stories. Number 1, when you fail, spend as least time as you can on the mat. And what that means is, I'm using an analogy of you are in a boxing ring and you get hit and you fall down. If you can get up right away, get up as soon as possible. Not to take another beating, but to not dwell on the fact that you fell down. Too many times people fall down and they go, oh my God, I fell down. I can't believe it. Like, I didn't think it could happen, but I did. And they spend so much time on the fact that they fell down. So less time on the mat. Get up. When you get up, take action. Like me just going, thinking like I'm going to reschedule my exam already made me feel better. Why? Because it made me have a goal in mind that I was reaching towards. So I already felt better. I wasn't being stagnant. I wasn't doing anything else where I'm like, you know what, man, I'm just going to go home and I'm tired because I only got a couple hours of sleep. And I'm just going to go to sleep and I'm just going to sleep this all off. I did take a nap, by the way, because I had to go to work and work like 10 hours. But I came home and I started finding information on how I could figure things out. So number one, stay off the mat. Number two, take immediate action towards correcting it. And number three, be insanely curious about what this could mean and find a positive meaning from it. Those are my 3 takeaways for how to overcome failure.
Yeah,
So
mine would be?
What? Go to Fans Plan.
No. Look, you can, but and if you do, guys send me a DM at Jeff the Entrepreneur. But mine would be anytime I failed, I've sought out testimonies of people who failed, whether it's Walt Disney, who did a thing, people who are these big names that everybody knows of, right? Who failed. Elon Musk, he launched 3 rockets and they all failed. The guy built millions of dollars in business. Like, I failed to play a quarterback, trying to start the quarterback. This guy failed 3 different rockets, boom, crash, before it succeeded. You know what I mean? And now he succeeded. He's Elon Musk today, but he failed all the way through. Who else? So that's what I always do. I always will search motivational videos, failure stories, or but why do you fail? And I always program my mind just to get the thing of, hey, it's okay. This person's done it. It's just going to make my story that much better. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's kind of it. Like, you're the director of your life. Like, it was meant to happen as much as it sucks. The second thing is kind of very online with you. Take action right away. Don't get stagnant. Try and get new targets and do that. And yeah, dude, I think the third thing, instead of asking the question, what is always a great question, right? Also, realize who can I share this with? And this is what I've always done, man. Anytime I've had something to you with, who can I share this with that will connect with me with it, that I can then inspire someone next? You know what I mean? That I can help someone who goes through this feeling to tell them it's not over. How can I get the mental callus up so that the next person who fails, I can lift them up? You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I think that's part of the reason why you become insanely curious. I didn't really get into it. You're getting more into it, which I think is a lot better. Of once you're curious and you can figure out what the trajectory is of what it's supposed to look like in the future. So for instance, I don't know if you do this. I do this, and I've done it recently, and it really helps me, is I picture future Josh, right? Future Josh is millionaire Josh. I know what millionaire Josh wears because when I'm a millionaire, I know what I'm going to wear.
Well, what are you going to wear? It says right here.
A white t-shirt, very similar to this one, and jeans, and flip-flops. Maybe some really nice sunglasses on there. And I'm going to be tan because I'm going to be outside all the time. And I'm just going to be relaxed. And I'm going to do business that way. And I'm going to be doing business comfortably. So whenever I picture the future version of Josh, he's confident. He's got a good base tan. I'm joking. He's confident. He's secure. and he went through a ton of shit. I'm swearing again. So he can know, like, to tell me, right, Josh of right now, that, dude, don't worry about it. This is cool. This is good stuff, what you're going through right now. So when I was driving home, I was picturing, this might sound crazy, but I was picturing future Josh, like, in the next seat next to me, right? He's got that white t-shirt on. He's got jeans. He's got the flip-flops. He's got the sunglasses. And he's like, dude, this is cool, man. Like, this is cool. Trust me. This is a good thing. Like, I can't even believe you're sweating this right now. And as I was driving, I was like, yeah, future Josh is right. This isn't a big deal. Like, I can get through this. And for me, that helps because what it does is there's a timeline, right? And this is me right now, and this is future Josh. And whenever I have future Josh, visits from future Josh, I know it sounds weird, but it helps. It makes me bring the timeline closer and go, oh, okay, I need to act like that person that I visualize who's gonna have all the things, who wants to be that person. So let me get out of my head right now and be future Josh. I guarantee if I was a 16-year-old boy and this 16-year-old boy took a look at who I am today, he'd be like, they're strangers, dude. I can't even believe he's that person. So 5 years down the road, I want to be a different person. I better be a different person because I can't be the same person I am now if I want to get to that point. So that future person, I want to make sure that I am connecting with that future person and it's what Ed Milet says, right? Making sure you're being that future version of yourself. So that helps me.
I watched David Goggins say this today, that like when we go to heaven, he wants God to be shocked on who we are. Like, this is who you're supposed to be? Whoa, you totally outdid it.
yeah,
David
exactly.
Goggins is one of the dudes who kind of did it. Ed Milet always would kind of take it a step down and say, God's going to show me what it should be like, and I want to be able to be living up to that version, right? David Goggins totally lit on the He's like, I want to shock God, which I kind of like that thing. So, which I thought was cool. Dude, I love that. I'm actually going to steal that and use that. I think that's great. I think everybody could value from that. I think dude, I'm actually surprised of the man you are today for everything, not just to say the way you bounced back, the way you were very authentic right now by bringing it on, and kind of this is the first time we talked about it too after everything. The way you took all those steps. I didn't know what you did, dude. I was so worried because you even alluded in your YouTube video, the one where you talk about mom and everything, of how you used to be a poor me kind of person, right? Thinking, right?
Oh, yeah.
And I remember, like, when we were at the Aggies, they used to be like, everybody hates me, I'm going to eat some worms. You remember all that?
All about me?
Yeah, I don't know if it was about you, or it might have been Judah, or it might have been somebody else, but they used to kind of make fun of the negative. I don't know if it was about you. But my whole point was...
Probably it was, dude. I was made fun of a lot when I was a kid, yeah.
Yeah, and that's what I mean, like, when I say having it be tough, like, dude, you had, I don't know what it is, man. You just had, I want you to win more than I want me to win, dude, 100%. I think that's, like, where, that's how great I am. I don't want to say that, but, I meant more. It just felt uncomfortable, so that's why I did that for humor. But no, I really do, dude. I really want to, part of the reason why I got in, and this is the big announcement that I'll make today that'll be out tomorrow, whenever we should post this pretty soon, but that changinglivesfinancial.com I bought. Anybody else who wants a free analyst on anything by a financial expert, I will then be going for my test. Dude, I kind of now, because of everything, I'll reschedule or start studying on 4th of July. I'm off tomorrow. I'm going to be at my investment tomorrow with Comeback Cam. I don't want to tell a story, but I almost want to fail now. I want you to succeed. I want me to fail once, so then I can go back and fail again.
Listen,
or win.
I'm going to, anything that I learned, first off, study. Don't ask me don't be texting me every single thing. Study by yourself. And second, any things that you're like, I'm confused about this, I'll be able to, it'll help me, because once I realize you understand things better once you explain it to somebody. In fact, when I learned things.
In college, they have the kids, and I did this high school, I'd have the kids teach back time zones to me. And then they got it. And then the kids who taught it.
Literally, when I'm doing my test, I'm like, okay, all right, so the provision says this, and then I literally pretend like I'm teaching it to somebody. So, Bill, this is how this works. And I do that on purpose, so I start to speak it out loud. I'm like, oh, okay, I get it more. It's sunk in deeper. I didn't do that about the health and Medicare, though. What are you going to do? Tell your story, and then we can wrap up.
Yeah, so story really quick. Worked the restaurant feeding hungry family foods tonight. So kind of precursor to the most.
Were you guys busy tonight?
No, we were dead.
Okay, they all came to Chili's.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, we got a pop, and I had like 6 tables. So basically, you know, when we talk about emotions, and dude, I love the edit.
Yeah.
So totally looked at myself like a third person, just like you said. And you've done this a lot, so I started to do this more. Totally was great about it. I come in tonight, and I don't know how much I should say. This is probably up here, but I kind of like just putting it all out there. And I don't think
there we go.
Gonna watch this anyway. So screw it. And half the people know, and I'm not.
It's an hour long into the video.
Yeah, I mean, who's gonna watch time? This, right?
They don't go this
so
far.
we should put that as like the coming up.
If you did get this far, by the way. If
Yeah,
you did get this far, comment.
So basically, what happened? Show up at the restaurant tonight to work. One person, let's say, who's very cold with me prior, got my emotions all out of whack, and I kind of acted. Was then now after I apologized, left a note, things were good. Seemed good, and I won't go through all that thing. Now all of a sudden things were cold again, right? Up and down, right? Love life, man, right? So
just how Jeff likes it.
Yeah, well, kind of, always keep me mystic. But I didn't. It bothered me, right? It bothers me when people are like that, right? So I say we're on talking terms, but the person's just treating me differently, right? So do you remember Jackie, right? So like Jackie, me and Jackie had the same, it's so weird, dude. Me and Jackie had the same type deal. So treated me different. Long story short, it didn't bother me as much because I was looking at my third person. I'm doing all the emotional checks. I'm proud of myself. I'm like, doing a great job. This, that, okay. Doesn't bother me, doesn't mean a thing. Give it time, space, right? So as all this happens, the said person is on the phone, right? They pick out a takeout order because they didn't pre-ship pay. Takeout's big. Everybody picks a takeout, not just don't let the phone ring, pick it up. So this person, and I'm definitely he picks up the phone. Me and Comeback Cam, the guy at Coach, is sitting there, and I choose 100% on purpose. I said this to the manager when I got pulled aside. That I chose these words to say on purpose because I knew if it was an earshot of the person, because of past things, it would kind of ruffle their feathers. And because you were being so like, I'm going to ruffle your feathers because, don't mess with me because, like, I'll mess with you back, kind of. It's just totally vindictive. It's totally, what's the thing, proactive. It's totally immature, okay? It really is.
So, real quick, I'm not trying to interrupt you, so I'm just bottom lining it. Basically, she wasn't really giving you the time of day that you wanted, and you wanted to get a reaction out of her.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
Just a little bit sooner. So, and I kind of almost know the things to do. So I started talking about my ex-girlfriend and because I had worked out. Oh, by the way, I worked out with Natalia 2 nights ago. Which, by the way, if I have her lose 20 pounds, she's taking me to Bora Bora on her dime. So, dude, I got her on the Health of her Wealth diet.
Okay, go ahead.
Well, anyway, so that not forget even that. Who knows if that even happens? We worked out. I feel great. I worked out abs. The whole thing feel good. So I'm talking to Cam. I say that I hung out with her, and I go, yeah, every Saturday we used to have sex, right? So, and Cam goes, just every Saturday? I go, yeah, that's all I needed. I go, she's so good. I expect me through the week. Cam's like, no, I need it at least 3 times a week. Now, I'm sitting here at the bar. I have a table of a 13-year-old and 12-year-old behind me, which is my table, right? Cool kids. They probably heard all this stuff anyway, right? We're talking about it. He's like, I need 3 times. I'm like, I need 1 time. I'm like, Spanish girls are so good. 1 time's fine, right? Natalia's the best I've ever had, right? So as we're talking, all of a sudden, said person gets off the phone and goes, we guys be quiet. Well, actually, said actually kind of very professional. We guys be quiet. I'm trying to be on the phone here. Totally in right. 100%, blah, blah, blah. And then freaking Cam goes, don't be a little brat, and like grabs the phone to like be like almost like he's insulted that he got yelled at by this person, right? Because like far be it that you can yell at him and he's wrong, right? Calls her like a brat or whatever the thing is. Long story short, full circle. I then go over, everything happens, time goes on a little bit. I then say, I basically say, hey, are you mad I restricted you? Like, why are you mad? And then she just blows up and goes, hey, you were on the phone before. I was on the phone. You guys were talking about sex. Other tables behind you. Blah, blah, blah. She's 100% right. It was totally wrong, right? And she's getting all worked up. And then she goes, and you called me a brat, blah, blah, blah. Or you guys called me a brat. And I'm like, no, I didn't. Cam did. And then one of the managers steps involved and says, hey, don't do that. And, don't say anything back to her, kind of. And, but I could tell as she was going into it, I really felt really bad about everything. Like, I don't even know why, but you know me, I'm just that. And like, yes, I said it to get a reaction. I'm totally admitting that here for the world to see. It was definitely petty of me. It was definitely immature of me. I'm totally aware. So when the manager, Alicia, pulled me back, I totally owned it. I said, Alicia, let me tell you the thing. Went boom, 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 totally about the motion thing, this, that. We resolved it with a letter. Then she got mad again. I said she was being different to me. I said something that I thought would get a reaction. It did. And I said, it was definitely not helpful. So then, listen to this, dude. So then they pull Cam aside, and Cam lies about it. So he lies. No, we weren't talking about sex. I think he does, because then they threatened to write him up, right? So because he lied, right? Instead of them just talking about, no, I wasn't talking about that, right? So because he pulls me aside, he goes, dude, what's your deal, man? He goes, you gotta protect us, man. You can't say we were talking that stuff. I said, hey, man, I'm honest. I just put everything out there. This is me. I made a mistake. I'm owning my mistake. He goes, no, but you in fact get me and Bobby in trouble saying we're talking about sex there. I go, well, we were. He goes, but you don't say that. You cover for your friend. You go, whoa. I go, what are we, bad cops here covering for other guys like George Floyd incident? He goes, it's not the same thing. I go, where'd you draw the line? And then he almost laughs like it was so funny. And now Cam, who's been helping me out, and Cam's great, is now all upset because he's all saying, so Cam wants to become a manager. He'd be a great manager, Anthony Jackson, because he's been working really hard, being assertive and stuff. So I said to Cam, hey, listen, I won't care. I go to Alicia. I said, hey, I'm totally at fault for this. I totally acted. And I didn't act on my emotions. It was more proactive or reactive. I forget what the word is. But I basically kind of plot this out a little bit. Saw very inconvenient. I was like, I'm going to do this. I think it'll work. It worked. Got the reaction. And then Alicia, I said, hey, write me up a thing. Now I'm the one who started this whole thing. This is totally my fault. It's nobody else's fault. And she said, hey, listen, I'm not going to write anything up, blah, blah. It's all verbal warning, blah, blah. And that's kind of where the night ended. And then I told Alicia, actually, I'll tell the next part off here because I don't want to share everything.
Okay. All right, cool. So what did you learn from that?
Yeah, I am very petty and I'm very immature because that was a very immature thing to do. It wasn't the right thing to do. I should have. See, here's the deal, dude. I want a result and I want it fast. And this is the thing. This is why I might never get married. And I like Spanish girls who don't like to give you a result and they don't like to give it fast. Like Natalia, she would upset. Nope, I don't want to hear it, babe. I don't want to hear it, right? She used to do that all the time. And I would always be like, no, but let's stop it. Let's not go to bed angry. I always had that in my mind, right? Like, these are my rules. I think I just got to, realize if a girl's upset at you, dude, it's not the end of the world. She's not dead. There's nothing going on. You know what I mean? Really look at it that way. She'll come around. They all do, man.
Dude, Ashley gets upset at me. Ashley gets upset at me all the time.
Yeah, see?
But it lasts, that long.
So wait, how long is that, though? Because, mine, for me, I make it feel like an eternity, you know?
She gets upset at us, I don't want to say stupid things, but she'll be like, you left your clothes in the dryer. Can you fold your clothes, please? I'll be like, yeah, I should do that. I'm at fault all the time. I'm always at fault because I'm doing a million different things. And then she'll be like, she'll grumble. And then 20 minutes later, be like, I'm sorry, baby. I didn't mean to get mad at you. I'm like, it's okay.
Well, the one thing that really kind of burst my bubble was then I have Cam then being like, you got to realize, man, not everybody's going to like you, man. You got to realize that. And, dude, I remember back when Jackie was in there and Brian, it's the same dynamic, dude. You remember Brian, right? Brian was just like, hey, listen, man. And they're trying to tell me stuff as like, you know what I mean? Jackie had a crush on me, man. That was the thing. Not to say, and dude, and then
listen,
I've had
dude,
Jackie apologize to me. Oh, you go ahead. I've had Jackie apologize to me. I've had Natalia apologize to me, and I recorded it. And I actually think I have it on my old phone. So like my dad was like, "They'll never apologize to you, dude." Like I put it out there, and it happens, dude. And like I think at the end of the day, people see I have the best heart. I'm not perfect. I'm definitely not. But not to say I can't progress. I just think next time I just gotta. Do I ever say anything to push your buttons, or do I just save that for like girls? Like I don't know.
All right, so I'm gonna tell you something about yourself, which you already know. You compete for attention all the time. You want this. You want the spotlight. You want it all the time. This is why sometimes your friends, the people you hang out with, feel like they want to tell you something, because since you always have that spotlight, whether it's a negative spotlight or a positive spotlight, they feel like that they can almost like be somewhat of in the spotlight or somewhere because sometimes you're exhausting to hang out with. And what I mean by that is not like exhausting, like if I wanted to, I remember exhausting in a good way, but like if you're like talking to somebody or whatever it is, and I wanted to talk or something, it would feel like I'd have to compete for the attention, especially when you're around girls, because you're very funny, you're very charismatic, you don't care what they think about you. So you have all these superpowers, right? That all these guys wish that they had, that they're like, how does he not care? How does he say the craziest things in the world and the girl talks about him, And all these things tend to you got a lot of weapons, I don't want to say weapons, but you got a lot of really good things going for you. You're a good looking guy. So I think what happens is they get upset. So then you'll get like these guys who will say those things. So I think when you, it's not really about you trying to like push buttons. I think it's just who you are. You demand in a good way, not in a bad way.
But okay, maybe it's not. I don't think I always push buttons, right? But like tonight, do you think person on the phone not giving me attention, me talking about having sex with my girlfriend, hey, totally not cool with the kids behind me, like just stupid, right?
Yeah, probably not smart.
No, definitely not smart at all. Especially value job, all that. And I don't think, but you don't think I was doing that on purpose, knowing me, to then get a rise?
Oh, I know you are.
Right. And I know, like, I'm not going to play that I wasn't, you know what I mean? So, but what would that is a wrong intention to do that, right? Like, that's not the right way to handle it. Like, that's what I learned. Like, yes, well, I got this.
I will say this. We should talk about this next week because we're getting late. But like, all's fair in love and war, right? So the reason why people say that is because people do crazy things when they're attracted to people. They really do. And I'm not saying like women and guys. There's histories of it. You would just Google things and find out. So it's hard. It's hard when there's a form of attraction, and it's hard not to want to play some sort of game, because love, in a sense, is kind of like chess. You're figuring things out. You're figuring each other out. So I think really what it is the ability to do it, but to do it in a charismatic way and in a way that is like elevates you without like taking them down. You know what I mean? And that's hard to do, because sometimes when it comes to like love and relationships too, we want to poke the bear, because they've been poking us too as well. But if you can rise and be like consistent, listen, I can't all the time, but if we are able to rise and be consistent, I think, I don't know, I could be wrong, I think that's attractive. I think no matter what, when somebody's like trying to poke your buttons and you're like, are you okay? Like,
well, I will say, the one thing I did notice with everything, maybe it's because I pushed the button and everything, but I don't really think it was, when I was getting flipped out on, right? How dare, blah, 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 talk about that. Normally my thing is when people yell at me, I think just anybody yell back, right? And I actually saw what you said, this is bad, I'm taking the growth thing, and I like looked at myself from a third body, which I never do. And I just saw yelling, and I just saw like how hurt the person was, and I just felt bad right away. Because yes, I want a reaction, but I really didn't want to hurt the person. I really don't want them to get upset. and I really felt bad. And then as I like came back into my body, in my eyes, it showed that like, oh, you're hurt. I'm really sorry. And then they saw it as they were yelling, and they almost wanted to stop yelling at the moment, right? And then they switched it to like, but you said this, and I was like, wait, I didn't say that. And then I was there. Anyway, so yeah, so next time what I'll do in that, I won't be petty. I was just petty, man. That's really, you know, I mean, yeah, I mean, and it's funny because as the managers talk to me, and some of this is for off the air too. I don't know how much you're going to hear this. So we'll go off here. All right, so yeah, what next week? What are we going to talk about? By the way, my dreams keep me awake. It's 2:20 a.m. I'm so thankful, Josh, to be here with you, to learn from you, to see how you've overcome failure. Anybody in that. So when do you think? How far out can we book the next test?
4th of July weekend. I don't know if I'll be able to get in contact with them for Monday, but I'm off Tuesday. If they have any opening Tuesday, I'll go there and get it and look for it.
Speaking of which, Amazon Prime with the executive producers, we got to get the headshots in.
Right.
We're going to be on. I think the show working title is called Speak Up. It's going to be at 5 p.m. So it's going to be 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. out in California. All right.
Right.
So, and then after then we'll book plane tickets or whatever we're booking as well.
Cool. Awesome. Okay. All right. What else you got? Where can they find you?
Jeff the Entrepreneur. It's funny, jeffkcunningham.com is not working right now. I gotta like find out where I bought that domain and switch it. But if you go to jeffscoaching.com, we're taking on 23 people more for personal one-on-one coaching, 3 months. Like, so each month we'll tackle something you're struggling with. Like the last guy, we're doing month 1 is leads, just fill them with leads and how to get leads organically. Number 2 is closing, so I can work on really closing. And number 3 is building a system, so then you can have other people do it for them. So if that's interesting to you, go to Jeff's Coaching. You can check out the new funnel made by Oswaldo, my team. That is something that it's a money-back guarantee. If you're not happy with any of the coaching, I will gladly. I'm not running with money. I'm not trying to make a millionaire. I'm trying to make you money. So I definitely do believe in of that, and I just want to help people, man. And here's the thing: I've coached some people that have actually gone on and get coaches later, and I remember being a little like, oh man, what did I coach them? But then it was almost encouraging to me because I got to the level and said no. And like the kid Dan, who has one of your power, you have no idea how powerful bracelet you are. You got a real estate coach, and he's doing great now. You know what I mean? So like, even if it's just the one session you want to book and just get to where you need to be, and I connect you to something like that. I'm proud to have that. I actually had a Spanish girl. She paid me for a coaching session. That had a crush on me for a while. And she went and got coached by some other business girl. I said, well, it's probably better, you know? So.
Right. Yeah. All right. Awesome, dude. That sounds good. If you're not subscribed to the channel, either of our channels, please subscribe. We've got lots of different good information coming at you every single week. I'm also in the process of building my new business, teach people about financial education. If you're interested in working with either one of us, send me a DM, money, if you want to work with me, if you want to work with Jeff.
If you want to work with us, this is what we'll kind of do. And this is kind of on the spot. I would like you to send a 60-second video of you and what you offer and where you want to be. Like, I would like to kind of more treat it that way. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's a good idea too as well. Yeah, they could do that. I like to qualify them too as well, so that's good. I was going to qualify them once they DM'd as well, but yeah. The video's good too as well because you can get a good vibe from the video too as well. Listen, DM me money, send Jeff a video, and we'll both decide. Well, I mean, make sure that video's good and G-rated. All right, thank you guys so much. You have no idea how powerful you are. I'm gonna go get some sleep. I'm actually going to stop recording, but have a great rest of your night.